I gotta go. I am a god. Okay.
Hello. Welcome back to another live stream on the Haunted Hippie channel. Today we're talking about horror movie news, and I am joined by my good friend Ken Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror. Woo! Yeah, woo! Yeah, unfortunately, Ashley's not going to make it with us tonight. Got called into work last minute, but no worries. The show must go on.
That's what happens when you're a superhero.
Yeah, remind the people what Ashley does.
She is a respiratory therapist, and with the big C word coming back full circle and RSV really hitting again here in Michigan, she's really on call because that's what she does, is everything respiratory related. And so when stuff like that is really hitting the fan, she's one of the first ones to have to be called in to go in and do stuff like that. So she really wanted to be here, but like I said, she's a real life superhero. She's been battling this since before the pandemic started. So, respiratory is something she's done for years, and I'm super proud of her. And like I said, if she could be here tonight, I promise you she would rather be here with us. I know that. So she's been looking forward to it.
Oh, we're all proud of Ashley. We love Ashley. We'll miss her tonight. But yeah, most people here I think probably know you and what you do, but just for any newcomers, just a quick rundown. What are the Sledges all about?
We've been married almost 20 years, married 18 years. We got married in high school. We love just being a part of the community. I bring people on and talk about the first horror movie they watched, what it meant to them. Ashley writes segments called Didn't See That Coming, where we talk about movies that have a twist ending and how they affected us, versus where we take an original versus a remake and we battle them against each other. And then In Defense Of, where we bring on guests that come on and defend movies that maybe aren't as well liked or loved in the horror community and why you should give them a second chance. So, and then we do a live once a week. We like to do watch-alongs, things like that. Anything horror related, we just want to do it.
Yeah, we did. That was how we first connected. You reached out and we did my first horror movie on Jaws. Mine was Jaws. And then we also did In Defense Of, and I chose the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. So we have a couple episodes over there you can check out. Their channel is linked down below, so you can check it out. But let's see who else is joining us. We got Raymond. Hello.
What's up, buddy?
We got Anthony. Hi. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hey, Noah. Hello. Time for a nice cold one. Nice. Yes. Click the like button, the notification bell if you never want to miss our next meeting, of course. Hello. Hey, Paige. Hello. Oh, yeah. How was visiting Florida?
It was no crocodiles. It was great. For those of you that don't know, my son and I, he's 15. We're both big professional wrestling fans, and we live in Michigan. We flew to Florida on Friday, went to Royal Rumble on Saturday, flew home yesterday. So just a good little getaway weekend with me and my son, and it was a blast. We had a great time. Florida was beautiful compared to Michigan right now. So.
Oh, I bet that weather, huh? All right, we got Ryan here. Welcome back, Ken Sledge. Ashley's missed tonight. Glad we get to hang here on this Monday evening. Yeah, we just did one last week. Glad there's more to discuss. I know. We did one really recently, didn't we? We talked about horror news like earlier this month, right? But there's just so much that's going on. Just want to give you guys like a really brief rundown of the stuff we're talking about. So obviously there was the stuff on the thumbnail. We've, more Jennifer's Body potentially. Lost Boys is getting a musical. We're going to talk about Monkey Man with Dev Patel, his, I think, directorial debut, right? How it went from Netflix to Jordan Peele. We've got projects coming up in the Jurassic World franchise. We've got Christopher Landon directing a new movie. We've got a new Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler vampire movie to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about. there's just so much going on still somehow. So that's why we're here again, doing this again. Yeah, Ashley is a real one. Agree. Hello, Jonathan. Hey, Shelby. We do. Oh, John, glad you made it. We do love the real superheroes. Oh, Mia Goth is rumored to be in the upcoming Blade remake. I had no idea about that.
I did hear about that. The problem is the movie just keeps getting pushed back. And it's a bummer because I was so excited when I first heard them talking about redoing Blade. But as of right now, it just keeps getting pushed back and keep getting pushed back. I'm hoping, because that was the big news, was Mia Goth was rumored to be in it. With recent events, who knows where that will go? But I would love to see her in a Blade type movie.
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to maybe talk about, we don't really have any updates on the Maxine situation. I mean, I guess a little bit though. We noticed that like a day or two after that article was released, they threw together like a really sloppy kind of teaser.
Yeah.
I sent it to Ken immediately, and I don't know, I didn't really get like your full thoughts on that. I think we were in agreement though.
It looked like it was like, hey, don't worry about that, because look at what we got here.
Yeah.
Do you remember how X ended? If not, look at this and remember that there's another one coming out right now.
Yeah. Was it you that was like, you said something like, oh, like that was just all X clips. Like,
yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah. Like they just
like, they literally re-showed us the ending of X and then showed us a little bit of Hollywood. Like,
yeah. Like, okay.
Guys? Like it was supposed to...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's just confusing to me because like the release date has been 2024 for so long, and then there was like the strikes and everything, like of course get that delays, but for the longest time we thought that we were going to be getting the movie in like April. We were seeing the first looks from Maxine so long ago.
Right.
So I'm just a little confused. I'm like, you didn't have anything else to put in the trailer. I don't know. I don't really remember the trailers for Pearl and X, if they gave a lot away in the trailers, but I just thought surely they would have had more to show by now.
I honestly didn't think they gave away anything in either one of those trailers, honestly. I went into X so blind. I don't know if you ever heard the story. Ash and I went to Horror Hound, and we met up with a good friend of both of ours, Anna, from What a Ghoul Wants.
Yes.
And we went and seen X together, us three, and we're sitting there watching the movie, and I was like, I swear I didn't know it was going to be this sexy, Anna. Like, we're not trying to, like, put anything out there. Like all of us are kind of sitting there, like...
A little awkward first meeting.
Yeah. And then Pearl, the only thing that I remember the trailer really giving away was, like, the explosion scene. And even then, it wasn't really giving anything away. It was just kind of like, all you seen was a dude exploding. And you were like, whoa, what the hell is that? And then her dancing with the scarecrow. Like, they didn't really give away any of what was going to happen in the movie, which I think was brilliant the way they did that. We'll talk about terrible marketing here in a little bit, but that was fantastic marketing.
I think maybe, so then maybe it's not a grand conspiracy. Maybe then they're just, like, kind of staying aligned to how they were marketing the first two movies then. Maybe that, like...
But the thing is, like, even with where I will agree in a way, because they didn't give anything away with those trailers, the Pearl trailer had absolutely nothing to do with X. You know what I mean? Like, and I know it's a prequel, but it's still, you know, you could have had parts from X in there. This trailer was literally the ending of X with a Hollywood sign at the end, essentially. Like, and them walking, maybe. I think they had them walking down the sidewalk or something. But it was something where it was just like, what? I thought it was fan-made, honestly. Like, that's what it looked like.
It was very, very choppy. It was not a well-made teaser at all. Yeah, I mean, because just from my understanding of like what the movie is going to be, I was thinking that, you know, even though it's the same character, it's like we've been there, we've done that. Like Maxine, she looks completely different. I was thinking the movie would be completely like kind of detached from X. That's what I was expecting anyway. So,
and something we talked about last time that I think really holds true the more I think about it, like in X, Mia Goth had to play Maxine and Pearl. Like, she had to, you know, get both of those characters, which as a character actor, that's hard to do. You're playing two different characters. It's hard to do. You don't have your complete focus on either one. And Pearl, she really got to hone in on who Pearl was. Yeah. And we really got who Pearl is. So I think Maxine, without her having to be Pearl again, we are just going to get the full who Maxine is, what she is. And that's what I was so excited about, is
Mm-hmm.
seeing her bring Maxine completely to life. Because even in X, Maxine was a little reserved. We didn't get a full-blown Maxine is this until the end, obviously. But to see that Maxine throughout a whole film, run it.
Yeah, no, I'm still excited for it. In terms of like the the controversy and everything going on, if there's gonna be like potential litigation, I'm like surprised and not surprised. We've seen an update. I was talking to Vinny from Womstomp because he's much more experienced in the industry, and I was curious about his opinions because he seems like it's kind of a load of phooey a little bit. So I was like, tell me more. And basically he was just talking about like the regulations on set and how much more strict they are these days. And that essentially in his opinion, it seems like the story doesn't really add up. Like it doesn't really make sense. If something like that happened, like Mia got to be fired, rather than the other way around. So that's his opinion. I found it interesting. Still have no idea what happened, obviously. Yeah, so that's really just our little updates on that. I want to see what people are thinking though, if anybody saw the teaser, because I thought that was weird. Oh, King of the Dead, glad you made it. Sweet and Spooky's gonna nosebleed for Jennifer's Body sequel. Yeah, Celeste will be excited. Let's see. There's some change about the original script of the MCU Blade. It's hard to understand about the complaints. I'm sure in development things have been weird and scripts have changed. I'm sure.
The last update I heard is it was going to be more horror. Like that's what I heard. It was going to be more horror centric than the Marvel ones.
Which I haven't seen the original Blade. When did that one come out? Because I'm not really familiar.
I was in high school, so 20 years ago. Wesley Snipes was Blade.
It's like 90s or early 2000s?
Yeah, had to be. Had to be. I was still living in Sand Creek when that came out. By which nobody here gives a fuck about that. But
I was like, I don't know.
Trying to put the timeline together in my head. So yeah, it was a while ago, and this is a movie I feel like desperately needs a reboot, because when this came out, this was before the Marvel explosion of the superhero thing. And it was so underrated because people looked at it. It wasn't even marketed as like people that don't read comic books probably had no idea this was a Marvel movie. Blade has always been a smaller comic entity anyway, and they didn't push into that. And by the time you got to, Blade, Trinity, and all that stuff, they were they brought in Paul Levesque, Triple H, the wrestler, to be in the movie. Like they were really pulling for anybody they could to get, I feel like the scripts were so weak, they were just going for star power at that point. So I'm really excited for what they could do. And I've always been a big fan of Blade and vampires, and I'm excited to see what they can do with a potential remake of the film. And it doesn't even have to be a remake of the film. There's so many different, there's like any comic book story, there's so many different avenues you can take it in that it doesn't even have to have anything to do with the original trilogy that they did with Blade. So exciting for me.
I'll be honest, I had no idea it was a Marvel thing until like right now.
Yeah.
I had no idea. None at all. Still looking forward to Maxine. Can't come any sooner. The Lions lost. I was watching that game yesterday. I actually watched a game of football. Sorry about it. I shouldn't have brought it up.
Okay. Here's what sucks about that.
Okay.
I talked to Kylie about it a little bit, but my son and I, we got to the airport at 1:45. Our flight was to leave at 3 yesterday. We were going to be home in time to watch the Lions. And our flight ended up getting delayed all the way until 11:50. So we spent 8 hours in an airport, and we were watching the game in the airport. And that's why they lost, because I wasn't at home. I couldn't do my pre-game dance.
Right.
Like all this stuff happened. Like, so I was. And what hurt the most, I'm not going to get too much into sports. That's not why we're here. We had a 17-point lead going into halftime, damn it. And then we blew it. And like, this was our year. Like I could feel it, and bummer.
That was unbelievable. Crazy comeback. Anyways, football. We got, but seeing as we have Australians here, should probably move on. Very cool. Australia.
Awesome.
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. So the teaser sounds like something I already saw in theaters after Pearl. Yeah, the after credit scene was. I don't remember the after credit scene. Was it just like the Hollywood sign or something?
Yeah, I was saying that's exactly what this was. It was that with pieces of X spliced into it. So it's literally stuff they could have done 2 years ago, but they were just like, "Uh-oh, drama.
Oh my
Cut it,
god.
cut it, cut it, cut it, paste, export now."
Yeah. Yeah, well, because a lot of times, like stuff on Twitter and news and all that, it doesn't always make its way over to TikTok. So I was just like scrolling the comments and stuff, and everyone's just like, yes, can't wait. Like nobody was saying a word about anything else.
Right.
So I guess it was good on the marketing team's side, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Not a good teaser. Oh, it came out in 98. Oh, before I was born. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Well, I'm geriatric.
You're not you're not that much older than me. What are you, like 14 years older than me or something? Okay.
I was almost having a kid when you were born. Like when I tell people that I love being mom and dad of the horror, Ash and I love being mom and dad of the horror community. Yeah, that was weird at first. Like it is like it's cool because I do have people that reach out to me when they need help or they need advice and stuff like that, and I love that I can be that guy. Ashley loves that she can be that woman. Like it's a really cool feeling for us. So I joke around about being geriatric and old all the time, but it's a good feeling. Like it really is, because I get to watch and like you, like somebody I've been friends with for 4 or 5 years now. I get to watch you grow, and not just as a YouTuber and a podcaster, but as a human being. I get to see the growth in you. And when you get to be my age, those are the things that are important.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, you are. We'll crown you the mom and dad of the horror community. I think it's warranted.
I'll take it.
Having 3 kids. I mean, yeah, come on now. That's hard work. Anyway, let's see. We got. Oh, I didn't know Del Toro directed the sequel to Blade. I had no idea. Okay.
And like I said, it's not like MCU style. Like it is. They are still dark movies. Yeah. And I think that, but they were more like action, like dark action movies rather than like dark horror movies. So
right.
I would love to, and this is a character and an arc that could totally work in a horror sphere. So I'm excited for it.
I need to check them out. Somebody sent me the original Blade on Blu-ray. I haven't seen it yet, but I've got no excuses. Oh, Dice is here. Bonjour.
Hey,
hello.
What's up, Dice?
Yeah, glad to have you. Yeah, I don't talk about being lazy. Oh, you didn't hear about that story? That was there was like nothing else on my Twitter feed when that was going on. Everybody was just so, because I feel like in recent years, especially in 2022, she like became the people's princess of horror movies, kind of. And it also just like it shook people up because the way she presents herself and like her voice and the way that her co-stars talk about her, she seems like a delight. So it was just like the weirdest news story to kick off the year.
And I was with you. Like, I didn't want to jump to conclusions either way because I didn't want to be like, oh, she's a dirty, rotten piece of crap, or this guy's a freaking liar. Like, we don't know what happened. I thought the story was far-fetched. I mean, I could see, this guy getting kicked. I don't see her purposely winding up and like, smoking him in the face. But the part that for me is like, if this happens, why is she berating him, following him to the bathroom, cussing him out? Those were the parts to me that, like you said, and Vinny, nothing disrespectful against Vinny. He's been on, the podcast a couple different times. I have nothing but love, admiration, and respect for him. He's talking about indie sets and how strict they are, not a major motion picture set. Those are going to be even more strict than what even Vinny's used to working on. And again, I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm not saying he's not professional. That's not what I want to be thrown across as here, because like I said, nothing but love and respect for him. I talk to him often as well.
We're just talking about scale.
Right. Yeah, the scale of how he works is on an indie side of things. He has the brains and the ability to make a Terrifier type film. Absolutely he does. But when you're talking about the differences between, a Never Hike film and a Maxine film, the set, like you said,
it's millions of dollars.
The size of that is, the scope is going to be so much different. The security is going to be upped. you're going to have so many more PAs and stuff like that are really having their eyes out on this type of stuff. So, like I said, it seemed far-fetched, but again, crazier things have happened. So you got to wait and reserve judgment.
No, I've said to like everyone I've talked to about it, I'm like, I just always leave room to be disappointed in my idols in Hollywood. I've just kind of fully stopped. Like I've tried to just like stop idolizing people in Hollywood. I'll respect their career, but I'm just like, you might disappoint me one day. That's just how it goes.
That's so true, because unless you're in a cult and you will follow somebody no matter what they do or how ridiculous they are.
I'm so heard of that.
Like I said, again, not trying to keep going back to this. I'm a huge WWE fan. There's a lot of stuff going on with Vince McMahon and the stuff that's come out about that. I made it very, very known. I grew up a big professional wrestling fan. I've always been a professional wrestling fan, but I'm a bigger fan of human decency. And if the things that he's accused of, which is sexual assault, human trafficking, all those, he needs to be punished by the fullest extent of the law. He needs to, I could never say, well, hold on, no, anything, I'll talk to you more about this when this is done, because it's graphic. It's gross. And you know how I feel about SA anyway.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really, really bad. And if that's the case, he already quit the company. At this point, he needs to be prosecuted. Even though he changed my life, essentially, because as a kid, I've watched professional wrestling and I've idolized a lot of these guys that are on there, and they wouldn't exist without him, the creator of the company, or the patriarch, because his dad created whatever. I've idolized him for a long time. But when this comes out, you're nothing anymore. Mm-hmm. If I find out you sexually assaulted a person, no matter how many years ago, and a jury finds you guilty of it, you can say this is a bad person and not support him anymore. Just throwing that out there.
I know some people get so attached. It's like the what's it called? The type of relationship that people usually develop with like influencers. Why is the word slipping my mind?
It's not. See, I'm thinking like Stockholm syndrome.
No,
but that's like where you're kidnapped.
That's right. Yeah, but that's similar. A parasocial relationship where people feel like an actual personal connection. And it's frightening, because I thought, because what's been all over my timeline for some reason is this like beef with Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion.
I didn't even know who Meg Thee Stallion is, guys. Like, I had no idea. Like, I heard Nicki Minaj beef with Stallion. I was like, is she fighting a horse? Is that what we're doing now? Like, what is happening? Like, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me, at all.
It's just so it's madness. It is madness. The barbs, the followers of Nicki Minaj. It's really a sight to behold. We'll catch up on all that later, though. We got a little off track. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Happens every time we're together.
Yeah. No, I've been disappointed one too many times to not do like Kylie said exactly. And also, like, you would hope that your faves want to be held accountable. It's like, things have come up with you and me, and it's like, you gotta be open to that. You can't, because if you just have a crowd of people that's constantly cheering you on no matter what, it stunts the growth in both parties. You artistically are not going to grow if anything you put out, no matter what garbage, if everyone's just cheering you on regardless, no matter how shitty of a person you are, whatever, your growth is stunted as well. It's like, it's just, nobody wins.
Right.
Yeah, you never want to meet your heroes, could break your heart. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We haven't even gotten to any of the news we're supposed to talk about today. Okay. So let's talk about the possibility of a Jennifer's Body sequel. I just wanted to kind of like skim through this article just because I haven't really read up on it yet. And I like to do this with my followers so everyone can kind of be on the same page. So it's really short though. Let's just see. Yes, remember Megan Fox. So Diablo Cody, who I guess was the screenwriter of the original, she's got eyes to do another one. Yeah, and the initial release, we've talked about this, I think, before, you and I, Ken, how she was pretty humiliated back then because the box office was kind of a flop. It was a disappointing situation. The critics didn't really understand it. They didn't understand the kind of like subversive LGBTQ plus themes, like the undertones of it. They, claimed that, what does it say here? This tactic didn't end up I thought they were saying it was like needless, the kiss between her and Needy, but anyways. So yeah, it's come back now, et cetera, et cetera. She's not done with Jennifer's Body. She's not saying anything concrete is in store, but first and foremost, she wants to find someone who believes in it as much as I do. It's owned by Fox, parent company Disney. Oh, geez. It'd be a good time for it, even if it ends up being another Jennifer who gets a similar hunger. For some people, it's worth a shot. If Chucky can have a 3-season show, anything is possible. What kind of shady what? If Child's Play can have a 3-season what? Huh?
Yeah. Grounded.
They don't know us.
What we were talking about earlier about marketing and how important marketing is. Jennifer's Body was so poorly marketed.
Right.
I had no interest in ever seeing this movie. I'll be completely honest with you. I thought it was just a way to sexualize Megan Fox with no real, substance. And that's what it looked like to me. Like one of those, like The Craft type movies, more sexualized. And I love The Craft. Don't get me wrong. I love that movie. But this looked to me, that's all it was. And I had never seen it until I had gotten close with Celise. And I realized how much that movie meant to her. So Ashley and I watched it on her recommendation. And I didn't know if it was my, Celise goggles on, but I was like, I really, really like this. And I've always been a huge Adam Brody fan. And that Through the Trees song was stuck in my head for like 2 weeks after that, by the way.
Yeah, it's good music.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. And I was just like, man, I feel so stupid for never watching this. And I was like, why didn't I ever watch this movie? I didn't even remember why. And then I started going back looking at like some of the old trailers and stuff. And I was like, well, that's why. They made it look ridiculous. They made it look like something I would never, ever be into. And it's that's one of the things with marketing that people always talk about marketing, but it is important. It's such an important tool, and it really can make or break a film. Like there's another movie that I put with Jennifer's Body, and that's the House of Wax remake, because they were right around the same time period. And the whole marketing for that movie was, hey, you don't like Paris Hilton, come watch her die in our movie. It wasn't like, hey, this is an amazing practical effect movie and a remake of one of the greatest practical effect movies of all time.
They were like, rampant misogyny sells.
Yes. And that's what the marketing was to me. And even then, even though I wasn't doing this and I wasn't reviewing films, I was still a human being. And I didn't want to go watch a teenage girl essentially get sexualized. Yeah, I know they're adults, but when I see girls walking through hallways of schools, that says teenage girl to me. And especially now, that's not sexy to me. That does nothing for me. So even then I was like, whatever, just another fucking movie. And then I watched it and I loved it. And I would adore for them to be able to do even some type of justice to that film. Because even if it is like a soft reboot, you can have people that had, like me, that had never seen this movie go, Jennifer's Body, what was this? And they go back and watch that original with Megan Fox, and wow, this is a fantastic film. Man, I've had that Through the Tree song stuck in my head for 2 weeks. So I would love to see what they could do with that movie with a better marketing team. And even if you could find a way to bring them back, I think that movie it's done like Trick or Treat, Halloween 3, these movies that didn't get a lot of love when they first came out have become huge cult classics. So very excited.
Your favorite Trick or Treat. Okay, no, never mind. Just a joke. Anyways, that's a little bit of an inside joke, but yeah, Ken is he's not crazy about Trick or Treat, not crazy. No. But yeah, I'm curious. I think that tonally it would probably be a lot different, because even back in 2009, it's like, regardless of having women writing, women directing and everything, it kind of reminds me of like Slumber Party Massacre back in the day. It's like, it still was produced by men. So inevitably we had like the shower scene and stuff like that would happen. I don't like, so I wonder how tonally it would be different. And it also worries me a little bit because it's like, yeah, they'd maybe kind of like try to clean it up a little bit. Maybe the like lesbian representation would be a little cleaner, a little better. But that was like also part of the charm of the movie. It has this really, really unique tone to it. Actually, like super similar to Ginger Snaps, which I adore. I adore Ginger Snaps. And yeah, it makes me curious how that would be different, especially. And then also just the issue of like a soft reboot, yeah, but I just would be less interested in that because I'm really stuck on Ginger Snaps right now. But like for example, Ginger Snaps 2, I wasn't really crazy about it because I thought the magic of the first one was the relationship of the girls, and to me that's also the magic of Jennifer's body. Yeah, I mean, and Megan Fox like doing her thing, obviously, but that was the magic to me. So I guess that's my concern because I'm like, how reasonably could we do a sequel? Could we do a prequel? Like, no, I don't know story-wise where we could go.
And that's the thing, like, it's going to be hard, like you said, for them to do this, especially if you can if you can get them to come back. Doing that as adults is going to be, how do you rebuild off that, how that ended,
And also, yeah, because like thematically, the first movie is like the horrors of being a teenage girl, kind of. So it'd be really cool if they could translate that to the horrors of being a 30-something, I guess. Would you? I don't know. Like, I just don't know really like what their landing point would be, like who they'd be kind of trying to resonate with. Like, I don't know how they would tackle it, I guess, is my concern.
As long as you have, like you said, the same screenwriters that are doing it, but it has to be the biggest thing that she said that resonated with me was it has to be somebody that wants this as much as I do. I do not want somebody getting attached to this project that wants a paycheck. I want somebody that wants to come on and make a awesome movie based on what we did before. Like, that's what really stuck out to me, was I want to do something special. I want someone that loves this project, that wants to do this as a passion project, not someone to come in and make a quick buck. So as horror fans, I think that's one of the best pieces of news we can possibly hear. Because whenever someone comes in and does horror for a paycheck, usually does not work out.
Exactly. I actually, like, right now, I just like officially hired a DP for my upcoming project, and he is coming on like way under his rate, and it just like, and I feel bad. Like, obviously we're still always fundraising and I'll chip in whatever I can, like extra on top of his contract, but like he is excited about it and he's like, I want to do this, and I'm like, yes, that's what I need. Right. That's what I want on set. Anyways, not super relevant, but I feel like it's not totally out of the realm of possibility to get Karen Kusama back. Right now she is, I think, an executive producer of Yellow Jackets, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but it's so good. It's so good.
We need another season to come quicker than
expeditiously. I need it with haste.
Yes.
But we had the strikes and everything, so like I don't blame them. But like, it's so good. And so I mean, so she's even working in the genre right now. I'm like, it's the time, baby. It's the time. Like,
they have to see and respect the impact that movie has now. I can't imagine a lot of people don't come up to them like, man, thank you for Jennifer's Body. This was so important to me. Like, especially like you said, that really at a time tackled the leaps and bounds of being a teenage girl, and some of the things that you go through as a teenage girl. And, I'm not just you specifically, but, what young women go through in that transitional period of their life and things changing in their bodies and, what things can happen. Like, and to see something like that, that same audience, is going to come back because they're in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 20s now. And the transitions that are happening, you never stop growing. So what is important to you now? What are the ways that you can make this relevant to the people now, but still keep it relevant to new viewers coming in? Having the same team come back for that, I think that they could really do something special and, try to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, I think that another thing that worries me is I feel like we're in a really weird place culturally where we have like the Craft Legacy, and we have the new Mean Girls musical, and they are trying really hard to cater to Gen Z. And with the Craft Legacy, everybody hated that. I really liked it. The third act was a mess, but like I just thought that it was so well intentioned and adorable. But again, it's like, you know, you're playing off this legacy of, you know, these original movies, and it almost feels like they're kind of leaving behind the original audience with how much they're trying to modernize them, which I understand is like a really tricky line to walk. And obviously you want to like evolve and make it culturally relevant, but then they like lose kind of that magic thing from the original movies. So
well, and like you said, like it's you don't want to cater to any audience. Like, again, I'm one of those people. I grew up in an era of nothing offended me at all. That doesn't mean that you can't grow and become socially, you know, aware.
Yeah.
You know, I don't talk the way I did when I was 14, obviously, but you know, you don't want to cater to any certain type of person, because then you're alienating every other person out there. So that's why I like painting with broad strokes. You know, you got to make sure that there's something in there for everybody. You want to make sure that, I mean, just like, again, me as a 38-year-old man, I don't want to go, I mean, there's nothing against Gen Z. I don't have a problem with Gen Z or, you know, no cap, you guys. I get it. But for me, I want something that I can relate to as well. You know, that's what I want to see in a film. I always put myself in a film when I'm watching it, whether it's, you know, from the side of the protagonist, the antagonist, the crazy uncle, whatever. I always put myself in the film. And that's why film is so special to me. It can give me an escape from reality for 2 hours. So I want to be able to, I want it to impact my life too. Like that's selfish, I know, but that's how it is.
Well, because I think that regardless of what kind of person you're seeing on screen, doesn't matter like age, gender, color of the skin, whatever, if they're telling like a genuine human story and, you know, there's a character arc, there's some type of growth that's going to be relatable in some type of way to everybody. Like you just have to have that like human element connection. So and also, like you were saying, you know, people are always growing. Like there's never a stopping point. Like I'm such a proponent of having of age stories for every age. It's always for teenagers, and we need it for every age. I have been singing the praises of Past Lives for the past few weeks, which is it's not horror, but it's nominated for Best Picture. And it's, you know, it follows these people throughout their lives, but for majority of the movie, they're like 40-year-olds, and it's about the choices they've made and life and whatever. And it's like, it resonated so deeply with me, even though I didn't relate at all. It was about a South Korean woman that immigrated to Canada. Like, I don't know that life, but it was so good. Talk about that movie whenever I can. So that's all we would need. I think, I mean, I think they could easily do a Jennifer's Body for the girlies in their 30s. I think absolutely they could. I just don't know how. I just don't know how. So, I guess I'll let me see what the chat's saying, and then we can move on to our next topic.
Awesome.
All right. So the way the movie went down, not many people can return. It would have to be another band pulling a sacrifice gone awry again with a different girl. Yeah, reboot's basically a remake. I could get down with that. Especially because that kind of, I don't know what to call that type of music, but I feel like it's kind of coming back with like Olivia Rodrigo's really big. I get like, I don't know what to call her music. I don't know what the genre is. I'm very out of touch, but
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
I thought maybe your kids would know, because she's younger than me. I think she's like 20 or something. But anyway, she's like all over TikTok, you know. Diablo Cody wrote Lisa Frankenstein.
Very excited for that. Very excited for that. Thank you, Ray. I didn't know that.
Okay, so she's using her little time in the press circuit to be like, and let me write Jennifer's Body too.
Yes.
Yeah. Ryan thinks it would be the same story. Maybe if she does a TV show and goes into the lore of what it is that possesses the girl, be interesting. I don't know. I'm more of a proponent of like not explaining the weird thing that's going on. Where do you fall with that, Ken? Just in general.
With the possession thing.
No, just in general. Well, then we'll move back to that, but like just in general, when a weird thing is going on in a movie, there's like the inciting incident, it's whatever. Like I kind of prefer not knowing. I like don't really need a lot of exposition. I'm just like, yep, it's weird. Okay, she's possessed. All right, some ritual. Okay.
Right. I mean, I think it really depends on the film. With a film like Jennifer's Body, I don't need to know what possessed her. A film like The Exorcist, I like knowing a little bit about Pazuzu and what Pazuzu is. So I think it really is going to come down to the story behind it. But a succubus, I don't need to know the story behind a succubus. I know the general idea of what it is. I know what it wants. And that to me is the important part, because I don't need filler time holding my hand and walking me through what's happening. Now, again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful for anybody that wants to see that type of thing, but it's just not for me. I don't need you to color me the ending on a piece of paper. Leave it vague. I like vague endings. Let me put the pieces together in my mind. And the same thing with a villain a lot of the times. Why are they the way they are? Because he was evil, because he was, a little kid and he had the devil's eyes, and that was it. It wasn't because his mom was a stripper and his dad was a pervert. Don't care about that. Like he's evil because he's the devil incarnate. That's why. That's all you need to know. No reason. He's just bad. Why is she possessed? Who knows? Because she is. That's why. They did something, it went wrong. She's possessed. She's going to eat you. That's it.
Much less comforting.
Yeah. And again, and like you said, your imagination can take you to wherever you want to go now. You can put these pieces together, and you especially, like you're a storyteller. That's what you like to do. You like to write. People that like to write like to tell their own stories. They can create their own stories out of what happened in this movie in their mind, and that could make the movie better. It could make the movie worse in your own opinion, but at least you're creating it as somebody that also likes to tell stories. That I want that. We did a short film. We're getting ready to make our next one.
What? That's horror news. Sorry.
Home is Where the Haunt Is was purposely ambiguous with who the villain was, why the villain is what they is. You could have wrote that story any way you wanted it to happen, and that's what I wanted. And I will tell you this because the next film is called Psychasthenia, and it is a surprise sequel to Home is Where the Haunt Is. You're going to find out what happens after the boy leaves the house and how it connects to the rest of the world. So you won't know it's a sequel. It's going to be about 20 minutes. We're going to premiere the trailer in a couple months. We're going to premiere a clip of the movie at the con that Ashley and I are going to be a part of in Kentucky in July. We're hoping to have the movie done and out by November. That's our goal.
Oh my gosh. Wait, have you shot anything yet?
We are in the scripting part. Scripting is about 85% done, but it's very small. Like Home is Where the Haunt Is. It is very, very small. Mostly takes place in 3 locations. Psychasthenia is an old psychology term, which is when they couldn't figure out. Essentially, it's a mixture of autism, OCD, and ADD. But it's not used anymore. It's an old term, and the non-spoiler, a little girl murders her whole family, and it's up to this psychiatrist to determine if she murdered her family. Is she insane? Did she do it? He's the one that's determining what kind of sentence they should be pushing for. And so he's meeting with her, trying to get the pieces put back together of what happened that night. And it's going to be awesome. We premiered. Dramatic. There's a clip that we did for our members. If you remember Sledgehammer Horror, you've seen it. We did a little script reading with me and my daughter. And I tried to get really in the feels with this movie. I wanted people to feel something with this movie. So I'll talk to you about it after this, but I'm excited to see the direction that it can go filming with my daughter this time. She had a very small part in Home is Where the Haunt Is. For her to have the majority of the screen time is her. You know, so we've been working really hard at it. So very excited for people to see it.
Good stuff. Oh, that's good horror news. Okay. Sorry for that tangent, everybody.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
But let's see what people are saying. Let's see. I prefer the original. Wait, it represents the time they were released. I'm not into the remakes for Gen Z. I'd rather have Gen Z make original films for them and make it rad. I guess that's kind of to my point. I'm just like, how? Well, maybe that's not fair to say because it's like obviously older movies still resonate with me. Like as a 24-year-old, it's not like that's not so much the problem. I think it's just something about I don't know something about the culture. The cultural rot of this current era in time is just, I don't know, it's just infecting too much art. And I'm not like Mean Girls, I love the original and the new one, there just was so much TikTok in it. And I find that so like deeply anti-cinematic. I don't want to watch in vertical on a theater screen. Right. Like I don't want that. So anyway, yeah, nice to modernize a movie. Don't lose the original magic. Which I know a lot of people will disagree. Obviously, they changed some things because they can't be talking about virginity that much. But like, I really liked the new Hocus Pocus.
Loved it.
I felt like I don't know. I felt like it captured the vibe. It was like the exact same kind of goofy tone and similar goofy magic. Like I don't know. I really like the new one. So I guess that's one of my best examples. Also maybe like I don't know, Halloween 2018. We haven't talked that much about Halloween together, but Halloween 2018, I think, kind of captured lightning in a bottle at the time because it was one of the first of like the legacy requels.
Yeah,
you know,
that was my favorite in the trilogy, honestly. And like you said, after that, you got a slew of people trying, Texas Chainsaw, Scream, trying to do the same thing. And unfortunately, I don't feel like any of them landed the way that 2018 did. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate 5 Cream or whatever the heck you want to call it, Scream 5. I didn't hate that one like everyone else did. I know a lot of people really disliked it.
Oh, really? Most people I know really liked it.
See, I had the opposite. I had a lot of people that really didn't like that one and like really, really liked 6. And I'm like, really?
Huh.
Really? Like 6 was good up until the third act. I've seen the third act before. The exact same thing in another movie. But it's just, I don't know. Like we were going to talk a little bit about Scream 7 because there is a new rumor out there. But at this point, it is just a rumor. I'm only seeing it on YouTube videos. So I don't want to get too deep into that because what we talked about before the stream, when I was just now doing research, I've been trying to do research this whole time, guys. I'm not being rude. Like I'm actually working while we're doing this. I can only find it in YouTube videos. So I can't find any concrete evidence for what I was talking to you about earlier. So there's no point in even bringing it up. But, it's unfortunate the way that people do things now. Like you're so easy to jump the gun on somebody for their beliefs, even if it's nothing bad. It is just, hey, this is my opinion. That it's unfortunate that we've gotten to where we are with Scream. One of the best horror franchises of all time with consistency and character. And it's a bummer. Huge bummer where we're at right now with that film.
I think it's, even maybe the best horror franchise of all time. Like there's nothing that I enjoy more. It's I don't know, just consistency of quality and everything. But yeah, just rumor mill. Oh, this actress is meeting with them again. Oh, reboot. Oh, like it's not.
Stop trying to be first and just be accurate. We don't know what the heck's going on yet. Like that's where this can be heavy. I made a video one time before I had any facts, and it was about who had bought the rights of Halloween, and I was misinformed. I will never do that again until I have facts. And even when I do have facts, I still say in the video, as of right now, this is rumor. It is subject to change. My word is not gospel. I got bit on that. I got burned. I made that video, and then it came out a couple hours later. I was wrong. I retracted it. Obviously, I deleted it. Told everybody, hey, guess what? I was wrong. I'm an idiot. But yeah, like that's the big problem right now. Everybody wants to be first. Views, clicks.
Especially since like the whole check thing implemented on new Twitter, and that people now can like earn money on Twitter that are verified, and like, so yeah, obviously engagement sells above everything else. There's like no legitimate journalism on that website anymore. So yeah, I see things and I see the check mark and I'm like, cite me an article, cite me a real journalist that has interviewed somebody about this. But yeah, so we won't get into all of that. But oh, you love Somnum. Thank you. Oh, this is a decent idea. Maybe Needy has a daughter who's growing into a mean girl Jennifer type who may actually be Jennifer reincarnated. What if your child was growing into your teen friend who was your rival? That's really weird, but I find it interesting. That's a weird one.
That's very relatable. Relatable. Because
you little kind of little Ashleys.
Oh man, me and Kenny would not have been friends in school. No way. My son's not a jerk. My son's a great kid, and I don't have dad goggles on. He's a great kid, but he's just he's a big sports guy. He's a big jock. That was not me in high school. I was the punk rock horror guy that was anti-establishment, anti-school spirit. Like that was me. So like that's a great idea to me because I would have hated that kid.
Okay, maybe that's a really good idea then. It seems like it resonates with I would say that you're probably like the intended audience at this point, just considering the age.
Even on the flip side of that, I think that people that are in high school could relate to that person's point of view. Because like watching, I know I'm going back to The Exorcist, watching The Exorcist as a kid versus as a parent. That's two completely different viewings, and you still feel like it was made for you. So, that's a brilliant idea because like we talked about, you're painting with broad strokes then because you are relating to the kids that are in high school because she has a daughter. Then you can show the high school part of things, but it's also very relevant about the mother and who she is and who, my generation, who we watched in this movie and what we appreciated about this movie. So you are getting those two different broad strokes, kind of like Sam and Tara with Nev. It wasn't just about Nev. It wasn't just about Sam and Tara. You had broad strokes in that. I love that idea. I love it.
Okay, yeah. All right. We should get her on the phone. Get the on the phone.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my favorite one I've seen. Especially because like I think it would really resonate with newer audiences because they would probably wait, is the original R or is it PG-13?
I think it's R, but let me double check.
Okay. Because for some reason I was thinking PG-13, but that doesn't seem right. But I think that it would relate, like, especially. Okay, yeah. But I think that they could really easily make it super relatable to teenagers, and like, because there is this new wave of kind of, I don't know if I want to call it like enlightenment, but for lack of a better term, it's just we've come so far. Like I remember when I was a kid versus now. So say like 20 years, just how far we've come in terms of like mental health awareness and how much more valued therapy is, just like not just for people that are mentally ill, but which is how we kind of used to view it, but just for everybody because we all kind of need a little help. And so it's like leading, like particularly people in my generation, I have this experience where like we're trying to break some of the toxic cycles that of like generational trauma and generational problems within families and stuff, and like trying to work through that. I think that'd be a really cool angle for a new Jennifer's Body. I think we're figuring it out right now.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Double Feature Podcast is here. Hello.
Hey, Kiramika, what's up?
2018 was perfection. Felt they could have ended it there. It's hard to capture some of that magic of an original film with a remake reboot. Yeah, there have been some gems. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of another one. I'm like, Never Hike Alone. That was another one of my favorites. What's another one?
We had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Netflix one, which brought back Sally, which was the worst part of that film.
It was bad. That one was bad. I'm trying to think of a good one. Like a requel but it's, I don't know. I'm like drawing a blank right now. Anyway, yeah, true. Hocus Pocus was a box office flop. I mean, it came out in July. Weird. Very strange. Let's see. The way Ken talks about his son reminds me of the fact that that was basically the idea behind Back to the Future. Would you have been friends with your parents if you were the same age? True.
My
True.
absolute favorite movie of all time.
That's one of my absolute favorites of all time as well. Yep. Yep. Been needing to show that to my boyfriend. He's never seen any of them. I know. Made it almost 25 years on this earth without seeing Back to the Future. Sinful. Absolutely.
Yeah. It is. That's my all-time favorite movie. Above any horror movie, any Back to the Future is just, it's the one of two films I say is completely untouchable for any type of remake, requel, sequel. That and Jaws. Just leave them alone. Don't ever try to touch them again. Leave
Not
them alone.
needed. I will take a guess. Either you didn't watch or you did not like Totally Killer last year.
Didn't see it. I heard mixed things. I need to watch it just because I need to. But
it's like a mixture of Back to the Future and Scream, kind of. But it's not great. It's like a it's like a 3-star film. It's like solid. It's entertaining. But yeah, maybe give it a go. There's some Back to the Future references in it. Need I mention how much I love Back to the Future? No, I think it goes without saying for everybody. Hey Billy, hello. I'm getting questions about Jennifer's Body, but I don't want to talk about spoilers in the chat just in case, because it's still like it's had a revival, Jennifer's Body, but it's still kind of a cult classic. So
right.
And we've been live almost an hour, and we need to talk about something else. Okay. We're just a couple of yak mouths, just yapping. Gosh. Okay. So okay, we have to. I'm just gonna kind of go in order of things that are most pressing, most interesting to me, because I don't think we're gonna get to everything that was on our list. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, do we want to talk about Monkey Man? Which, just as a reminder for everyone, please don't spoil the trailer for me. I love going into things blind. I just don't want to know things, but what I do know is that I am pretty certain. I'll have to double check. Pretty certain it is the directorial debut of Dev Patel, who was not getting cast in action movies. Like, studios just didn't see him as an action lead, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure he has training in martial arts. Like, he's capable. He's like basically a stuntman. And so he made one himself, and then now that it was supposed to release on Netflix, but they're not distributing it anymore. So apparently they acquired the rights for around $30 million, but it's been on the shelf for 3 years. What?
That's insane.
Okay. I didn't know that. I thought this was a new movie.
Do you know how important and great a movie must be for it to sit on a shelf for 3 years and Jordan Peele go, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
I want that right now.
And we know that we can account for taste with Jordan Peele. We know this much.
Yes.
So yeah, in just a day, the trailer amassed 4.6 million views. Like, the people love Dev Patel. Like, people think that Dev Patel is sexy. He is a leading man. Like, he's so beloved. I don't understand. Like, Netflix, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? So, have you watched the trailer?
No. This is one because Jordan Peele, I don't ever watch his trailers. Just because even if it's something that he's bought, something he's Monkey Paw, because I feel like those are very hindered on the story. Where, like, to me, like a Scream, slasher type movie, I can watch those trailers and not really give a shit because, I'm not going to be putting too much thought into the movie the whole time anyway. But movies like this, where I feel like I got to have they're like psychological, I got to have a lot of thought provoking moments. I don't want any of it spoiled by the trailer for me. So unless it's like a slasher sequel, like Thanksgiving, I'll watch that trailer all day. What was the new one? I can't think of it. The little vampire girl.
Abigail.
Yeah. I wanted to say Amelie, but I knew that wasn't right.
That is Abigail. A movie.
Yeah. I love the Abigail trailer. I've seriously seen it. That movie probably has 1 million views. Or the trailer probably had 1 million views the first day. I had 500,000 of them. We talked about it last time. Kenley watched it over and over and over and over. But this one, I don't want to see it. The movie he has coming out on Christmas, I don't want to see the trailer. I want to go into this as blind as I can and just have a great time with the ride.
Yeah, and I am curious because it doesn't say in this article that I'm looking at here, but there was an untitled thriller that was being released by Monkey Paw Productions, and it had a release date, I think like September 27th. But I haven't heard anything else about that, and nobody's like made this connection, but I'm wondering if this is what that was.
Could be.
And it was just untitled because, like, I don't know, contractually things weren't all in place or something.
That's what I'm saying, because maybe they didn't have the complete, authority with the NDAs and stuff to release the name of the movie yet.
Mm.
That's because it had been shelved for so long.
Yeah, especially with that. Although the release date for Monkey Man is April 5th. So,
okay.
I mean, unless we're getting a third Monkey Paw Productions movie this year, I'm not going to complain.
We get 7 Blumhouses a year in 12 months, so I could take 3 Monkey Paws. I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, but then it's also like, we don't want Monkey Paw to fall into that same trap of quantity
We'll buy
over
anything.
quality. Yeah. So, let's see. Kira Mika enjoyed Totally Killer. It's a fun one. Love to hear what you think. I would like to know what you think too, especially because of like the Back to the Future kind of vibes in it.
Ash and I have the weekend off, so we will watch it this weekend.
Yeah, it's not a long watch, and it's on Prime. So we are going to cover this. We're going to talk about Godzilla. Wait, got kicked out? Kicked out? Wait a minute.
Wait, I didn't hear anything about that.
Kicked out? What are you talking? I think he might mean shut out, like the phrase shut out, when a movie's like shut out of the awards, they like don't get the nominations they deserve or something. Maybe that's what he means. They're nominated for best VFX. I did want to talk about that. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Just the snubs. Okay, I think the snubbing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I literally just was like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was like, that's unprecedented.
The fact is that Best Picture nominated is something, but
it's crazy. It's been breaking records in the box office for 2 months for international cinema in the US. What are we doing? Anyway, okay. Yeah. Anyway, I can't wait to see Monkey Man. He did The Last Airbender. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Never seen it.
Oh, he was in Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, and that was like almost 20 years ago now. What are the studios doing? Why are they sleeping on Dev Patel?
Great in that movie.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in such a long time, though. I'm definitely due a rewatch. Jordan Peele's backing is a yes for us. We love Dev, phenomenal actor. Yep, Slumdog Millionaire. Oh, he was in Skins? I didn't know that. Huh. I need to watch that show. What a cast. What a cast.
Yeah, I was just saying, looking at this cast. Holy shit.
It's crazy. Yeah. Same guy from Green Knight, which I haven't seen. Have you seen that one?
I have not.
But yeah, I have. I think is that one. That one might be like a Netflix one. I can't remember. It's supposed to be really good. It was nominated for some Academy Awards back in the day, but I've not seen it. I only watched the first trailer of a movie. Got snake bit by Halloween Kills. So now I go one trailer, especially if it's something I want to see. Yeah. So you don't watch like the second. Right. Yeah.
That's usually, like I said, that's how, unless it's something like that. Like I remember getting up and running out of the cinema when the Halloween Ends trailer came on. I was like, no. Like I got up and ran out because I was holding on to hope that the Karen part at the end was just a fantasy and she didn't really die. I was holding on to hope that my girl Judy was going to be there.
I was in denial. I was in denial because I was like, what do you mean? It was shot so weirdly. Like it seemed so out of context. It seemed so, but no.
yeah, we were both let down on that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just super excited about this. There's not too much news to get into. I thought maybe you had seen the trailer, so you could give a spoiler-free kind of like trailer review, but that's fine because we spent a lot of time on the other stuff, so we can move on. We're getting a new Jurassic World movie already. So this article that I'm looking at here, the Hollywood Reporter, says that Universal is said to be moving fast with the script from, is it pronounced Cope? David Cope? Or
I think so.
Okay, I think it's Cope. So they're deep into the development of an all-new Jurassic World movie. David Koepp is back at the keyboard. He wrote the original Jurassic Park. And then, wait, did he write the sequel? It's the way it's worded, I'm not sure. But in the chat, you guys can let me know. So it's apparently this project has been flying under the radar and it's very far along. Script is in a well-liked shape. The studio is whispering about a possible 2025 release date.
Wow.
They don't even have a director on board yet. So they're apparently launching a new Jurassic era, but then I don't understand why they're acting like it's going to be a new Jurassic World movie.
See, and that's what I was wondering, because the thing that I had heard was it was going to be a Jurassic Park remake, is what they were doing. They were just completely redo Jurassic Park, was the original thing that I had heard. And I was like, why? Why?
No,
you don't have to.
We don't do that.
This can't
we
happen.
don't do it with Jaws. There's a reason why it's been 50 years. We've not had a Jaws remake. There's a reason.
But I'm also one of those people that didn't hate the Jurassic World movies.
Oh no, I like the first one a lot. They got messy.
I don't think any of them are cinematic masterpieces, but to me, those movies, you know, when I look at a horror movie, and yes, I do consider Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies action horror.
Correct.
That's when CGI looks good. I loved the CGI in those movies. I don't like Chris Pratt's beliefs. I like Chris Pratt as an actor. I don't agree with his belief system, but again, people are entitled to have their own opinions, their own beliefs, whether you like it or not. And you don't have to watch him if you don't want to. I've enjoyed him since he was Andy on Parks and Recs. But I didn't have, like, a lot of people were really shitty on the Jurassic World movies, and I was like, there's way worse movies in the world. Like, I don't get why people are so upset about these movies. If it's got a dinosaur in it, I'm probably gonna watch it.
Same. It's just the comparison game, though. I think, which it like okay. I'm like a total hypocrite, because there are people that enjoyed Exorcist Believer, and that's fine. But then they would try to tell me that I can't compare it to the original Exorcist, and I'm like, it's a direct sequel. It's a requel. Yes, I can, especially with how much the movie was paying homage. So like, no, that argument doesn't really hold water. And maybe I'm a hypocrite here, but I feel like with Jurassic World, I never found myself comparing it to the original, because it's so different. It's so heavily modernized. Like it's not trying to imitate. Like, yeah, there is homage, but it's not, it's not like entire scenes are being recreated. It's not like anything is a shot for shot homage like it was in Exorcist Believer. So.
And you didn't have, the main character. I mean, the third one, they came back for a little bit, but that was more, this is where we're at now. This is what we're doing, but we're here to help. But like you said, Jurassic World and Jurassic Park could absolutely stand on their own. You don't have to watch Jurassic Park to understand Jurassic World. You have to see The Exorcist to understand a lot of what's happening in The Exorcist Believer. Yes. So that's where I get what you're saying, where The Exorcist Believer is a requel to Jurassic Park. Jurassic World is a sequel. It takes place in the same universe. They're not trying to redo anything that happened in the first one. They're trying to connect the story further down the road, where in The Exorcist Believer, they are trying to recreate these exact scenes, these exact feelings. While they're both sequels in their own way, they are doing two completely different things. So I get what you're saying. I don't think it makes you a hypocrite. I think it's absolutely the truth. I think that's exactly how it is.
Okay, yeah. What you're saying is making sense. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the thing that I really liked about the first Jurassic World is that it gave us what we didn't get from the original trilogy, which I love the entire original trilogy. It gave us the park actually being open and the public being attacked by the dinosaurs. Like, it gave us the open park. Beyond that, I don't know what I'd be looking for from the Jurassic Park franchise. If it's a dinosaur movie, I'm in. I know a lot of people didn't really like the movie 65 with Adam Driver from last year. I enjoyed it. I probably won't watch it again, but like, I'm glad I saw it in theaters. Dinosaurs. But like, in terms of the Jurassic Park franchise specifically, I'm like, what else what I want here. I kind of feel like we've done what I want. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, like I said, I will always go see a Jurassic movie. That's just who I am. I remember being so in awe seeing the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. You want to talk about CGI that still holds up today? That movie still holds up so well today. And I don't think I'll ever get over that feeling I had as a little kid. Like, this looks so real. At a time where I played video games and, Sonic didn't look like a hedgehog. But those dinosaurs looked like dinosaurs. And the way that they incorporated, the DNA from the mosquito, like, that was brilliant to me as a kid. Like, that was just so great. And anytime I go watch these movies, I kind of get transported back to that magical feeling. Even in the newest one, when you had the fire happening and all the bugs crashing down, like, it was so great looking. And the older I've gotten, I go into movies looking for reasons to like them, not reasons to dislike them. Yeah. So I'm a lot less cynical now, and I can go in and just be in awe over how great the movie looks and what it could possibly have been like or could be like if that were to happen. The absolute majestic views, but primal fear of getting chased by a raptor. Like, if I see a spider, I'm scared. Like, what the hell am I going to do against a raptor? Like,
oh my God, more Cretaceous bugs, Cretaceous arachnids, because they did the bug thing with the big crickets, in Dominion. Yeah. So you're talking a lot about like feelings and stuff, and I don't know if we would get that from a new one. I just don't know. I don't know. They've been trying.
No.
It's David Kep.
Kep. Okay.
Good. Got it. Okay. Okay. Oh, he did write the first two. He wrote, which I really like the second one. I really like the second one. Let's see. So, what, turning humans into dino people? What? No.
What? I didn't know that one.
No.
I would hope not.
That is something they haven't done, but like, no.
They did clone a human, which everybody hated that. I thought that was cool. I was like, that's actually like, it's a nice little twist. It wasn't like story changing, or it wasn't like, mind bending, but it was like, oh, that's a cool little twist. I dig that.
They're trying.
Right. That would be the next logical step. I feel like if this were really happening, we just recreated dinosaurs. How about we try to recreate somebody that meant something to us and bring them back in some way so we can have them back again? That to me is the logical next step in what somebody that's trying to play God would do. I've done this with a species of, dinosaur. Let's see if I can do this with a human being now. What medical science, how much money can I make off this?
No, super. Like, I mean, they didn't have to do all that. They could have just played on nostalgia and done more dinosaurs running around and stuff. But I do appreciate a different creative direction. I do. Yeah. I do. But then also, that being said, it's like, they've also done that. So it's like, what, like, where else are we going to go? I don't know.
It gets to the point where money, they know they'll make it. So.
Yeah. Maybe they just like want us to forget Dominion or something. You think it'd be insane if the new Jurassic movie goes for broke and finally has dino human? Oh, more people. Do you guys actually want this? Yeah, they already went full sci-fi with the last two. Exactly. Yeah. Why not? I don't know. I just feel like
dino humans. I think of the Super Mario Brothers movie from when I was a kid with King Koopa that walk around like a big dinosaur. Like, I'm not in. I don't know.
Not in on that. That just, to me, that's all. We're like then bordering on. Okay, so then do you hire David Cronenberg to direct? Like, that's just kind of what that reminds me of, and that's not the vibe.
David Cronenberg's Jurassic Universe.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I'd be on board with that. It's because the Jurassic Park movies, they're fun. They are fun before anything else, and that is weird. That is so weird. I think that's also probably why like a lot of people had a problem with the new trilogy, like Dominion and Fallen Kingdom, because it was a lot of really heavy stuff, and it was a lot of irrelevant, topical, but heavy, sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh yeah, and Peter Jackson's King Kong. There's big bugs, stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of been done. But Jurassic Park versus Godzilla, sure, I'd watch that.
I'm
not
in.
gonna lie to you, I'd watch that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I guess that's kind of all we have on Jurassic World. Glad I got your thoughts on that. This was on the thumbnail, so I should get to this one. Lost Boys is being adapted into a musical, and what really excites me about this is the fact that it is being produced by Patrick Wilson. Our boy. I feel like so many people don't know about his theatrical background and how, like, he's a professional singer. Like, he is a music man. And it's just, and he's been
Great
like,
voice.
I don't want to say stuck, but like, you know, he's been stuck doing horror movies and Aquaman, like superhero movies and horror and stuff. And I think that boy wants to make some music. Like, I think he wants to do something musical. And this is I think it's the perfect vehicle for him. This is a movie unlike Mean Girls that I actually think this one could be so cool, so stylized.
I want to see Patrick Wilson in a cameo with his shirt off and the saxophone.
Yeah. I want to get him singing a song. Like what was the band that he collaborated with? He was singing the song in the end credits.
Insidious, The Red Door.
Yes.
Ghost.
Yes. Yeah. So I haven't read this article yet. It says he's producing. Let's see. So it's being directed by Michael Arden. Music and lyrics by The Rescues. Oh no, just produced by Patrick Wilson. So maybe he's not doing any of the music, but bummer.
Yeah. I love The Lost Boys, and I'm a huge fan of musicals. So
I didn't know that.
Love musicals. Uh-huh. So I could definitely get down with a Lost Boys musical. I mean, if you're gonna remake a movie like that, why not take a big swing? You know, like, why not try something like that? And seeing a horror vampire musical, like, I'm so in. Like, I am in. And the cast, you know, they already have a cast that was announced for it. So
wait, this article doesn't have the cast. Do you remember?
Hold on, I'm going to it right now.
Okay, yeah, no worries. I think because also you could really easily like pay homage as well and not have it feel like out of place. I mean, because in a musical, it's like it's all about the imagery, and so I really wouldn't be too worried about that. I think they also could really, really easily modernize the story, and that it takes place in like Santa Cruz or something.
It's definitely on the coast.
Or no, Santa Monica. I can't remember. One of the Santas.
It says Noah Jupe, who is the kid in A Quiet Place, the little brother in The Quiet Place, and Jaden Martell, who was Billy in It. Mm-hmm. He was also in Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Mm-hmm. Those two are I thought they had more, but I see these two are the only real announced people for the remake right now. Okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah, but like I said, I thought both of them were good. Hold on, let's see if this one has more of the cast. Noah Jupe, Randy McKinnon, who's also working on, that's who's writing it. Okay, he's producing. Not familiar with him. I think Dice said it best here. Leather, vampires, attractive people singing, high potential of rock. I'm in. You guys, I need a rock revival. I need it so bad. I almost exclusively listen to like 60s and 70s rock. I need it. I need it bad. It's so funny because I went to Florida, and me and my buddy, the one that I stayed with, we've been in bands together for years and stuff. We were just talking about how satisfying it is when you hear a song and you can hear the slide sounds on the guitar in the recording, like, because you know that was done analog. You know that was somebody playing a guitar because you can hear those slide notes. And I'm with you. I need that in my blood. Like, I need it. Like, I just got a new Blink record. I just got a new Green Day record, and I'm digging them. Like, I think it is, but I would like to get some new blood making that type of music I grew up with and see what they can bring to it now. So I need it too. I could definitely run with that.
There's a lot of really, really great modern psychedelic rock, but I'm craving like that old sound too, because a lot of like modern psychedelic rock, it's very, very like produced, you know what I mean? As opposed to what you're talking about. And crazy story. I was listening to, I think I was listening to Sweet Nothing by the Velvet Underground or something the other night. And because of what you were talking about, like, because you can really like feel all the layers of the music and the analog and whatever, I started crying because I was like, these people aren't even alive anymore, and they were doing this, and I'm connected to them in this moment, and it's crossing space and time, and I'm, it was, I'm telling you, I need it. I would love to get some.
That's the beauty of music and movies. We can still relate to these people and feel their feelings after they're gone. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So I got a little overwhelmed by that the other night, but anyway. So you thought the musical was supposed to be a play, not a movie. Did I misread that?
I thought we were getting because I know we're getting a remake. I thought that they were making
oh yeah, I forgot. I think has the remake always been this musical? And we just haven't had this information?
That's what I thought.
Oh no, there's a teaser that you can watch on YouTube. I'm not going to watch it right now.
Right.
But yeah, so a new musical will be directed by blah 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 by special arrangement with Warner Bros. Theater Ventures. Wait.
So this is going to the stage.
Oh. Was I mistaken? No.
Yeah, I'm bummed now because I was hoping to see it on film.
See, sometimes we're wrong.
Well, at least we admit it. Thank you for calling us out and letting us know so we don't look fucking stupid.
Yeah, appreciate that, Raymond. Appreciate that. Yeah, don't let us spread misinformation.
Yes, if you know that we're wrong, say it. Like, we will appreciate it so bad. Like, so much. We'll appreciate it so much. Like, I would rather you tell me, Ken, you're wrong, bro. Don't make yourself look stupid. Like, don't make me defend myself when you know I'm wrong. So thank you, Ray. I appreciate that.
Yeah, making us look better. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I need a rock revival as much as I do. It just excites me more. Lost Boys is definitely going to be rock. I mean, I hope that's just what we're saying. I'm not familiar with the bands that I guess. So okay, wait. Music and lyrics by the Rescues. I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar. So have to look into them and see. But anyway, I love. Thank you guys. Yeah, and. Oh, appreciate that. And Velvet Underground. Yeah, time for a music stream. Well, that would have copyright issues.
For sure.
Oh, Desi. Hey, glad you made it. Nice. So yeah, I guess if oh, I thought I might be wrong. No, see, and we don't want that. We don't want you. You were right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So okay. Well. Disappointing. Probably not too many theater heads in the chat. We can move on. I need to get to at least like 3 of the other things that we have on our list, even though there's like 10 more things I wanted to get through. But we can at least get through like these next 3 because they're quick. I don't think we know a lot of information yet. Okay, so so Lionsgate has just signed on Christopher Landon. He is going to be directing a new werewolf movie, as I understand it. So Christopher Landon's going to be directing a new werewolf movie. It's a short story adaptation. It's based on a story called Big Bad by Chandler Baker. I'm not familiar with her. Any of her. It sounds like she writes novellas. I'm not familiar with her. But yeah, so because all the Scream 7 stuff was it was no good. I don't place blame on Christopher Landon because it really, truly, that situation had nothing to do with him. I did complain at the time that I was upset with him for not speaking up for his lead actress. I thought his response was very cringy. I think he's learned now. He lost the job. I kind of felt like that was deserved because I was like, no, you need to stick up for the women that are working for you. But I still like him as a director, and I think this is an interesting pivot. So yeah, how
Good
do you
for him though. You know what I mean? Like I get, because his hands are kind of tied too. Like, something we forget, he's under contract. You know, like, it's not like he can just go, yep, well, I'm done too. You know, so he's still got to try to please the people that are paying for his kids to eat, which sucks. It sucks. I know it sucks, but that's real life. You know, like, you can't bite the hand that feeds. And he should have came out and supported Melissa. I agree with you 100%. All of us did it. You know, it would be different if she was actually doing something very wrong, you know, and he was like still trying to defend it. But, you know, no matter how I feel about, because I felt the same way as you and I talked about that. Like, he should have right away came out and said, you know, I stand behind her. You know, I 100% agree with what she says. But for him and, you know, his kids to be getting doxxed and death threats, and like, that to me is just like, you can disagree with what he did. Don't dox his kids and don't do stuff like that, guys. Like, it's a movie, man. Like, this is real life. These are children, kids.
Well, it also, like, it pertains to, like, the way that we are dancing around the subject now. This is my full-time income. I can't be as candid as I would like to be about some things, because I am paycheck to paycheck. Like, I cannot afford to lose my full-time income. So that's that's also a side of it. My complaint was his response was just so...
It was bad.
It was just across the board so bad. It was so bad. I don't think he ran that by a PR person. He literally just was like, this sucks. That was like literally...
Yeah, his thing was like, stop yelling at me, guys. I didn't do it. That was his response. Stop yelling at me. I didn't do it. Instead of being like, I feel for Melissa. He could, you know, I feel for, you know, because like you said, he doesn't hire and fire people. That was the studio. He didn't do it. So for people to be yelling at him, he could have came out and said, listen, guys, I had nothing to do with the decision making on Melissa's part. I stand behind Melissa. I hope she lands on her feet. I'll be supportive to her in any way that I possibly can. But just please understand, I had nothing to do with the decision to keep or get rid of her. That's all he had to say. Instead of stop yelling at me, I didn't do it.
Yeah,
you know?
like,
yeah. I didn't like that either. And like I said, I just came up with a response in 18 seconds that was genuine and better than what he said. You know, like, it's still a human being. I feel for her. In my opinion, she didn't do anything wrong. I will stand behind her and whatever causes she has. But when it comes to hiring and firing her, none of that was on me. She was hired before I was here. She was let go by the studio, not me. You know, keep me out of that. Don't dox my fucking kids.
Yeah, that's crazy. And in general, like, that was a very reactive response, and it was not a good one. But in general, like, he was really outspoken about the strikes and everything going on. He generally seems to be in the right place. I hope that he's learned. I hope that he's learned. So yeah, he's Christopher Landon is not out of my life. I am excited to see him make a werewolf movie. We talked about this already, but I am just so pleased by the revival of the monster movie. Like, this next era. Oh, baby, I'm so pumped.
We've talked about it before.
Myself right now.
Yeah, horror goes in cycles. We've talked about that before, and we're finally back to the monster movie again, the creature feature, if you want to call it that. Hell yes.
Yep.
Put me in, coach. I want to play. Yeah. Yes, I am so ready for this. Growing up a big Universal Monsters fan, I just got my fingers crossed so hard I could break them into pieces that we're finally going to get a proper Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. I didn't mind. See, but I would love a modernized Invisible Man type version of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I didn't mind Shape of the Water. I thought Shape of the Water was great. It's not a Creature from the Black Lagoon movie. Like, it's not. It's in the same world. It's not. Ghostface is not Michael Myers. Just because they're in the same universe, it is not the same thing. I want to see a creature film completely redone. I need it right there.
Because the original, like, it's so charming with the 50s filmmaking and everything, but now, like, with the technology we have now, imagine, like, the underwater sequences. I mean,
Yes.
that cinematography was very much ahead of its time. Don't get me
Well
wrong.
done. So well done.
Gorgeous. Incredible. Like I couldn't even, anyway. But you know, imagine now. It's yeah, I'm just really excited for this next era. Particularly because it's not just like sci-fi, like creature feature. It is like it's like universal classic. We're getting those monsters back. Yeah, Nessie's saying the same thing. I'm so excited. We're in a monster era. Dice is intrigued. Yes. I also agree with this too, though. That was my first thought when he left Scream 7, or was booted, or whatever happened.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, okay, he can complete the trilogy. Are you a Happy Death Day person, or?
I am a huge Happy Death Day person. Happy Death Day to You had me literally sobbing. Like, sobbing.
Right. That would hit close to home. Right. Yeah.
Like if you could go to a different dimension, a different, and see your mom again and tell her the things you've always wanted to because you can't now.
Mm-hmm.
I was legit sobbing in the theater. Like I was just like, this is fucking rough. But I would love another Happy Death Day movie. I would love another Happy Death Day movie.
I know. I think, you know what? I think we'll get it eventually because he obviously hears the people that are yelling at him. So I know he sees it because he was seeing all that.
Right.
So. He also I feel like he gets asked like every time he gets interviewed because it even happens to like Jason Blum. People even bug Jason Blum about it when he gets interviewed. Desi says, I always felt like his response was honest for the moment he was in, and he wasn't emotionally prepared to respond in a way that wasn't emotionally. Yeah, of course. I think that's like what I said. I was like, yeah, he had a very it was an emotional response. But that's why we take a step back.
Before you say something, think about what you're about to say because it's another human. It's not about the movie anymore. If you want to say something about your movie, I didn't have a say in the marketing. Don't yell at me. I get that. I don't have a say in what's happening in this human being's life. Like two completely different scenarios.
And it's also just like Christopher Landon, as a straight white man, nobody cares how you feel right now. Nobody, I promise, nobody cares. I promise. That's what PR teams are for, baby. That's what having a marketing team is for. Yeah, really should have passed that response by a PR person. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think, well, that's nice. I think we're all like in agreement. Yeah, we're getting, and speaking of vamps, we have another vampire movie coming our way. The new Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan genre picture, so they call it. But the rumor is that it's going to be a vampire movie, and I'm really, really excited. I forget, and I'm so sorry about this, but I need to look up Ryan Coogler because I can't remember. I know that they're like a dynamic duo.
What I want to say real quick, as a straight white man, oh my God, I can't believe how sexy Michael B. Jordan is going to be in this movie. Like, oh my God. Like, dude, like, again, straight white guy, but I can appreciate sexiness on both sides of the spectrum, and
it is a spectrum.
He is a sexy dude. And see, to me, vampires have always been, with the exception of like your Nosferatus and stuff like that, sexy. Vampires are supposed to be sexy and seductive, and go ahead, bro. I'm in. I'm fine. Let's do this. I'm ready. So I can't believe that we're gonna get him in the horror world. Grew up a huge Rocky fan. Love Creed. I think that he's an amazing director as well. What he was able to do with Creed 3. He did some writing and directing on that film, and I think that he's a very talented guy. And to see him finally taking, a big step into the horror world with a vampire, I hope that it goes horror centric with the because we could get, like a Blade type action, which is fine. But I just hope they keep the roots of the sexy, seductive vampire type, because Michael B. Jordan could play that mysterious, sexy vampire. Like, whew.
Yeah, well, because like there's just such opportunity. I don't know if it's going to be a period piece, but there's just opportunity for like a very fresh perspective of this, because we have Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Very excited about that. Obviously, it's like my most anticipated of the year. But what was going on with Black people during that time period? Like, you know,
Right.
what was that period piece? And I forgot. I can't believe I forgot. I had a feeling. I knew he did Creed. He did Black Panther as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you seen Fruitvale Station?
No. Oh, I've heard it's so good.
Oh my god! Like it's like super. I'll never watch it again. No desire to watch it again. Not because it's too real. You know what I mean? Like that's real.
Yeah.
And I don't like real life stuff. Real life stuff.
Same.
And especially
like,
with
Eden
something
Lake, I don't too much realism.
Yeah, it hurts. And Fruitvale Station is very real, very hard. I got little emo goosebumps right now. That movie is so real, so heartbreaking, and that's when I was like, wow, this kid is good. He's good in everything, but that movie he was God, he don't again, sexiest dude. He's so hot. None of that mattered in that movie. It was all about his acting ability, and you were broken watching that movie. It was heartbreaking.
Oh, I know I need to give it a go. And I also, just because I'm not like big into fighting movies, oh god, I have never seen Rocky, so I haven't seen Creed. I am telling the wrong person. I don't think I've told my channel this before, and I have the wrong person to deliver this news right now. And Ken
let me see if I still have it.
And it's one of my dad's favorite movies, and he somehow never shown it to me. He showed me Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, Jaws 1,000,000 times. He never showed me Rocky.
I'm getting in my workout clothes drawer real quick.
Yeah.
Like this legit is one of my workout shirts.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Because that movie like basically created the montage, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah. Rocky 1 through 4 are fantastic. Rocky Balboa is great. The Creed movies are fantastic. You talk about me crying in the theater. I cry a lot, guys. I'm sorry. I was raised by a single mom. I'm in touch with my emotions. Me and Ashley thought I was gonna have to leave during Creed 3. I was crying so hard. I thought I was disrupting other people's viewing experience. Dude, like
it's like that. Okay.
It mom stuff, but it was oh my god. Like dude, I was like literally head of my hands came up with like the snotty, the crying, like all that shit. It was bad. It was bad. So but seriously, I can't. Rocky is not a fighting movie. There's very little fighting throughout the Rocky movie. Like it's not like the whole movie is just this guy out boxing. Like it's about the underdog kid that never got a chance. They got the chance at the title, and like how he trains, how he meets his wife, how he becomes a father. Like it really is the story of the guy. Yes, it's wrapped around in a sports movie, the greatest of all time, but it's cinematic masterpiece. It really is. Like I love Rocky. I will die on the hill that it's my favorite sports movie of all time. It's how I learned how to fight, being completely honest. Rocky movies are how I learned how to fight people. And they're just great. They're great love stories. You know, yo, Adrian, I was thinking if you ain't doing nothing the next 30 or 40 years, we could go on and get married or something.
Oh my god, that was so good.
Of all time.
That was so good.
I
didn't know you did accents like that, to be honest.
I love the Rocky movies. They shaped my life. I told everybody, I was like, listen, when Rocky Balboa came out, I was like, if Rocky dies in this movie, I will be unconsolable. Like, it will be a bad day in Kennytown. Yeah. So, obviously he doesn't because he's in the Creed movies. But yeah, if you ever get the chance and you have the chance to sit and watch the Rocky movies, any of them, please call or text me right after and let me know what you thought. Because I would love, especially the first two. They're fucking great, dude. Like they're so good. Like they're masterpieces. I would really love to get
a ranking on your channel.
Do what?
Have you ever done a ranking on your channel?
No, I need to. I really need to.
Okay, if I get into that franchise, I'll let you know, and then maybe.
We will do. I'll bring you because I know Cody's a big fan too. So maybe me, you, and Cody could do just like an all-out Rocky and Creed franchise ranking. Because that means Ashley will have to sit down and watch them all too. So She's
Oh,
seen
yes.
everything from Rocky Balboa on. She went to see in the theater with me because we were together for that. So we watched all 5 of them at first. But yeah, please, I would love to do it. I would love to do it.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to. I mean, I'm already thinking like this year is looking kind of crazy, but like, yeah, I'm just doing some traveling and stuff. But
We ain't going nowhere.
I need to. I do want to watch that with my dad. Like, that's the one set of movies that we like. I can't even believe we haven't watched together yet because they're like his faves. So I'll try to do that with my dad. Make that a dad activity for me this year.
Bring him on the ranking.
Yeah,
I would love to have your dad with us, dude. I love watching your guys' videos together.
Oh
Bring
my
him
God.
on. I would love it.
Dude, talk about like having generations.
Yes.
That'd
Dude,
be
that
crazy.
would be so fantastic.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be okay. I'll float the idea. He might be a little shy, but I'll float it. I'll float it for sure. Oh yeah, Desi. Yeah. Excellent idea. Need a movie with Anya Taylor-Joy and Jamie Campbell Bower as vampires. I mean, they're like just the epitome. I mean, they're so pale and like so just blonde. They really have that look. They really do.
Yes. And again, vampires to me have always been sexy and seductive. That's when they're the best.
Mm-hmm. And I think I brought this up recently. I think somehow Twilight always comes up, but like a reason that people like to hate on Twilight is like, oh, they made vampires sparkle, they made vampires pretty, and girl, like, come on, they always have been.
They've always been sexy. If the worst part of a movie to you is the fact that a character sparkles, like,
over it.
I wasn't a big fan of those movies. I didn't hate those movies. I thought the VFX were amazing.
I didn't know you've seen them.
Oh yeah, Ashley likes them. You know, so
yes, my girl.
Oh yeah, she likes them. So I go into them and I watch them with her. Mm-hmm. She went and watched Rocky stuff with me. She goes and watch Indiana Jones stuff with me. So that's our give and take. I didn't dislike them. I mean, again, for me, it's like my complaint isn't about how they sparkle or I would have liked it to lean more into horror. Is how I feel. I would like more horror into it. Same problem I had with the all-female led Ghostbusters. Fantastic movie. I like the movie. I like the plot. I just wish it was more horror-centric, like the original 2 Ghostbusters, like Ghostbusters Afterlife. There was a lot of horror elements in those movies, where that movie was more of a comedy horror than a horror comedy. That was my big issue with the movie. The cast was fantastic, and they did an amazing job. Same with Twilight. I love that epic battle scene. When I found out what happened, I was livid. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Because I never read any of the books, But
yeah. Oh my God.
That's what happened. Like I just sat here for 25 minutes watching the most badass thing in the world. I told Ashley, I was like, I finally liked something, and this is what they do to me. But I don't know. Like I thought the movies were fine. I don't give a shit if a vampire sparkles.
They're ridiculous.
I mean, vampires are different in every single story of a vampire. There are always different things about them. So, like, come on, man.
I mean, to Desi's point, it's like, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, Christian Slater, Antonio Banderas, like, that was the cast of Interview with the Vampire. I mean, Robert Pattinson is like our new Brad Pitt. I mean, yeah, he's a lot weirder. He's a lot weirder. He's a different career, but you know what I mean.
He's also showed that since those movies, he wasn't just this like, I used to think that he was Napoleon Dynamite. I was going to always see him as the Twilight kid. I was always going to be like, oh, let's go to Burger King. Am I Team Jacob or Team Edward? Whopper, But now, like, he's an actor. Like, he's been Batman. He's done all these amazing things. And that started with how he did in Twilight. And in Twilight, that's what I thought. I'll be honest. I was like, he's going to be a typecast guy to me. Whenever I see him, I'm going to think of Twilight. It's not even like that anymore. The Lighthouse, all these different things. He's a great actor, and good for him. Good for him to break that typecast. Also,
like, it's just incredible because he does play a lot of weird little guys, but then he also plays Batman, so he's not typecast by any means. But like, I think what people don't understand, because they think the performances are bad in Twilight, but like, they were exactly how they were supposed to be, and it takes a really good I'm sorry, it takes a really good actor to play Edward the way he did. It was so weird. It was so weird. It had to be. I'll defend those movies to my grave.
The performances, the VFX, none of that bothered me at all. It was just like I when I'm coming to see a vampire movie, I want to see especially a vampire Lycan movie. I want to see more horror involved in it. Like that's what I wanted.
And they're ridiculous. Those plot lines, like they're absurd. So I hear you. They're not like masterpieces.
But they're fun. Again, I wouldn't be like, I'll never watch this again. I wouldn't seen every single one of them with Ash, and I didn't mind them. But it's just I was kind of hoping for more.
It's like pretty strictly fantasy. Like there are a few like full out horror scenes, but imagine if they leaned into that. Anyway. And imagine if Ryan Coogler was actually directing like a horror vampire movie. But I have no idea. It seems like the only thing we know, and this is just, it seems like it's kind of rumored because this person that wrote this article didn't like interview anybody, but he says that he's heard the film's budget is around $90 million. So I don't know, because like I don't know what was I'm curious about Nosferatu's budget, because I just, not that that would be comparable in any way. They're very different directors. No, I don't think we know. No, I can't tell. I don't know what their budget was.
And like you said, not only are they completely different directors, but they're completely different vampires too.
Yeah. True. I don't know. My heart is kind of telling me, even though I don't want to listen, that it'll probably be more like action. That's my guess. But could you imagine? And I know I'm mostly speaking for like the girls, gays, the theys, and honestly Ken, that like, just imagine if we got an interview with the vampire style, like romantic and sexual with Michael B. Jordan. Like I don't feel like we've really seen as much of his soft side as we can. And by that, I don't mean like, it seems like there's some pretty tragic plot lines within Creed. But I'm talking like, I can't put the words.
The thing is, like throughout Creed 1, 2, and 3, there's a lot of him and his wife, because I guess I just spoiled it because they get married, but him and his girlfriend, she's deaf, and so like there's a lot of the sense, and then their daughter ends up with a disability. I won't say what, but there is a lot of his softness and what he's big bad guy in the gym. What I'm willing, the softness I have for my family and my kids. And so he does show this very emotional, very parental side in both of those, all three of those movies, towards the love of his life and children. So I think that those parts of those movies, the emotional parts, and like I said, Creed 3, rap. So
exactly.
I think, and again, he's just such a great actor and everything, because he choreographed all those fight scenes too. Like those are real, just like Rocky. Those are real. That's real stuff that's happening out there. And you get hurt, you get hit. Those things happen. There's no stuntmen in there, and they're going 15 rounds of doing this stuff. Like that's all real work. Like that's body work. That's shadow boxing. That's training, and he's doing it all. So like, good for him for all the hard work that he does in those movies, and to see him put that type of dedication and love into a romantic vampire movie.
I know.
Just wear the cape. Nothing else. Just a cape.
Just.
I'm sorry. Like.
Oh my god. Okay.
Thank God I'm back in Michigan where it's 12 degrees outside. So when we're done here, I can walk outside and cool myself down real quick.
Oh my god. I think that's what I was getting at, is like not so much emotional, but my thing is like catering to the female gaze. I want to see it because I feel like, because in Black Panther and the Creed movies especially, it's like, you see the emotional side of him, but in terms of physicality, those movies are all catered to the male gaze, and I'm like, give us Michael B. Jordan, doing things for the girls, like.
I'm serious. You get a lot of that in the 3 Creed movies.
You do?
You get a lot of what he's willing to do for his girls, as the franchise goes. You get a lot of the soft, sweet side of who he is. A lot, just like Rocky. You get a lot of those movies is the insight of the relationship with him and Adrian. You know,
I want to see the sensual side, though.
Oh, well.
That's what I'm saying. You know, like just walking out in a cape. You know, like that's
just a cape.
Yeah,
just a cape. You can even make it. You can even make it the invisibility cloak. What happens under the cloak stays under the cloak. Michael. I'll join you there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, you want vampires to be brought back to the horror roots completely with Nosferatu.
Yeah.
Miss them being perceived as creatures again. Yeah, I recently rewatched 30 Days of Night with my coven members here, and I just it's so jarring to me because like the cultural reset that was Twilight was my introduction to vampires as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So see, like when vampires turn into like a true horror element, it really, really does get under my skin because I've mostly seen them beautiful and alluring, right. You know? So yeah.
That's why I love Dracula, you know, because he was sexy, he was hot, but he was still scary. You know, he was still going to fuck you up. You know, like that's what I've always loved is when you can have that juxtaposition of how beautiful they can be, but how evil they are underneath. Like that juxtaposition for me, when done well, is what makes vampire movies so great.
It makes them just like the apex predator. Like
look at Christopher Sarandon in Fright Night. You know, like he is sexy and he is seductive, and when you have the dancing scene, like you know that this guy he gets it. And then when you see the evil he becomes, you know, like that's God, what a good movie.
Yeah, and you know what? I've never seen the remake with I love Colin Farrell. He was out, yeah.
I have problems with the remake. Don't get me wrong, I have problems with it. Overall, I liked it. Colin Farrell's great in it. The Evil Ed stuff is what bothered me in the remake, honestly. McLovin to me, unfortunately, is typecast as McLovin. You know, and he's Evil Ed, and it does not go like you don't get the same type of emotion from him as you do in the original. Evil Ed is more of just a complete joke in this movie. Yes, he's a joke in the first movie, but he has layers to him. You know, you actually, when he's about to get bit, you feel for him. When he's dying at the end and turning back, you know, from the wolf into him, you have genuine sadness in you for him. You don't get any of that in this one.
You guys did a versus on that, right? Yeah, a little while back.
And Toni Collette's the mom.
Our horror mom. She's our horror mom. Oh my God, forever. Yes.
And, she's in it. And also Christopher Sarandon does have a cameo in it that's great. He has a great cameo in the movie.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
I need to go on that.
Again, I like it. You know, I fell in love with Colin Farrell during Phone Booth, and I haven't looked back. So,
I became obsessed with him in Banshees of Inisherin last year. Was that 2022? I think that was 2022. But yeah, I became obsessed with him then, and I need to watch more of his stuff. Oh, we got a tip. Thank you. Very important question. Crush harder on Michael B. or Devon Sawa?
Oh, man. Do I want my steak cooked, you know, rare or medium rare? Either way, I'm going to enjoy the meat, man. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, hard to say.
Probably Sawa, just because it's been a longer relationship, I guess. You know, I've idolized him since I was a kid. I soured on him in my older life just because of personal stuff that happened with him and a friend of mine. But
we'll chat about that later.
Yeah, that's not my business to put out. But a very good friend of both of ours had a really shitty experience with him.
Oh,
and so shit. Yeah. So I'm very disappointed. But he treated me with respect when I met him. He treated my wife with respect, which is, you know, all I ask. You call me an asshole and then kiss my wife's hand, tell her she's beautiful. I'll be happy with you. But I still think he's a phenomenal actor, just because I don't have the admiration I once had for him personally. I see. He's still a phenomenal actor. He is still a very good-looking guy. But I was really disappointed in how he handled himself with one of our friends. So, but they're both great actors. I mean, like I said, I'll stick with my steak analogy,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay. I think to top off the stream, because I know I've had you for a long time here. I think there's a lot to choose from. I'm just gonna go over like some of the titles just so you hear the headline, you know what's going on, just stuff that we're not gonna have time to get into. There's a horror movie called The Dominatrix that Doug Bradley just joined the cast of. So I'm excited for that. There is it was reported on My Bloody Disgusting, so I don't know if this is an action horror movie. It seems like an action movie, but it's called Boy Kills World, starring Bill Skarsgård, which I know a lot of us like him. Then Sydney Sweeney, most famously from Euphoria, she's going to be in a nunsploitation movie. I forget, it's called Immaculate. She plays some kind of pregnant nun. Quick reaction is what? Okay. And
real
then,
quick, have you seen Sister Death?
No.
Dude.
Yeah.
Watch Sister Death.
Okay.
This it's a prequel to another movie. I'm not gonna say what movie because you don't really know it's a prequel. But it was marketed as. But if this is what The Nun should have been. This movie is
from last year, and I missed this. What?
It's
on
a
Netflix?
Spanish film.
That's why.
Holy shit, dude! Like this movie. I have one complaint with it, and I'll talk to you about that after the stream when we talk about the other stuff. But overall, like there was points in this movie I was uncomfortable. Like this is scary. This is the trigger warning. There is an SA scene in it.
Okay.
Sucks. But when you just said nunsploitation, that's a big arc of the movie. So Sister Death. Check it out. So good.
All right. We'll check it out. Dang. Thanks for letting us know. Yeah, so, but this seems like real run-of-the-mill, like, okay, The Nun 2 made $1 bajillion. Let's make one with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Boo, tomato. So moving on from that, guys, I don't even want to bring this up because I'm pretty sure it's just a rumor. Because I was like, I know I'd seen people talking about this. I saw people talking about this. The only source is Twitter. Yeah. And I just don't. But if it's true, you guys, Diego Calva, he was the lead in Babylon, and he also was in Bird Box Barcelona, which I haven't seen. He's a big crush of mine, we can say. There is a rumor that he is going to be starring in a vampire movie, and I would frankly die. I would pass away. So anyways, but the only source is Twitter. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about, because I know that you play video games, Until Dawn is being adapted by David F. Sandberg. So I figured you were the guy to bring on to talk about this. I don't know much about it. I know David F. Sandberg for Lights Out, the viral horror short that turned into the movie. I enjoy both. I'm excited about this, even though I don't really know anything about it.
I won't spoil anything. Just a spoiler-free synopsis. A group of friends goes to a cabin up in the snowy mountains. They play a prank. There's two sisters there, and then a bunch of they play a prank on one of the sisters. She runs away because she's upset. The other sister follows her. Accidents happen. They die. And then they come back a year later to honor their memory. The same group of friends, and shit starts to go down.
Ooh, okay.
What I love about this is not a game where you can play through it one time and go, this is this, this is this, this is this. It's a decision-based game. So they can go any route they want. It's one of those games where I think they have 8 different endings. It's between 6 and 8 different endings you can get to the game. So they can go any direction they want with it. And in the game itself, had a huge cast in the game.
Yeah. I was see, this is why I've been seeing people talking about it, because I know it stars like Hayden Panettiere, our fave, Rami Malek, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so it's been all over my timeline because people are saying, well, just put the original cast in it. And then also to your point about the different like timelines of it, people were also saying, oh, they should film multiple endings, put different ones in different theaters, you know, confuse people. Yeah, I'm like, yes, bring back that whack ass marketing. Bring it back. Bring back the weird stuff that they were doing in the early 2000s. Like I need that type of marketing again. You know,
What
like Blair Witch
ending
Project,
will
that
you
kind of
get
stuff.
in your theater? Because that can also be a way. And again, we're talking about marketing and how this could be a great way to boom your physical media sales. See what ending you get in the theater, then go buy the movie, and you can watch all the endings at home. You know,
Yes.
like that to me that's perfect. Because I love the what's the company that does these games? Because they did Until Dawn, they did Men of Medan, they did Dark Pictures, the Dark Picture anthologies. They did Man of Medan, Until Dawn. They've done Little Hope. They've done a bunch of them, and they're all great, and they all have huge casts in them. And I was hoping that this was the first one. I'm hoping this kickstarts like a Dark Pictures anthology cinematic universe where we get all of them together, because they're all awesome. They're all great games, and I could see these taking off. And I'm really hoping Until Dawn does well, because Hated Panettiere's in it, Remy Malek, and they are, oh gosh. Oh, it's so good. I don't want to spoil it because I don't know how close the game is going to be to the movie. So I don't want to say something that's going to overstep and ruin it for people that don't play the games. But just be excited, because the game's a lot of fun. I spent probably 20 hours of my life playing it, which I know to a lot of people doesn't seem like a lot. To me, that's a lot. I coach baseball full time. I work full time. I do this full time. I'm a father. I don't miss dance classes. I'm a husband. I don't miss dates. And I spent 20 hours playing this game. There was a lot of sleepless nights playing a video game for me, and that doesn't happen. So any Dark Picture anthology game, I'm in to see on the screen. 100%.
Okay, wow. So we can be excited then. And then, how about how do you feel about David F. Sandberg stepping up?
I mean, I love the fact that it's not somebody that has a stigma around them. I love Lights Out, just like you. I think that I loved the idea behind Lights Out. I thought it was executed well as a short. I didn't hate the full length. I would love to see the story continued, as a matter of fact. Scary idea. But you know, I would rather. I'm in that stage now where I want new blood to come in that doesn't have a whole catalog of things they've done. You know, a billion things they've done in the horror world, to come out and try to, you know, build their names again. That's something I would really love to see.
Yeah, definitely. I know I haven't done too good of a job keeping up with him. Trying to see what he's been doing lately.
He did Annabelle Creation, Shazam, Lights Out. He's done things in the horror world, but he's not that. When you think of a horror director, he's not one that pops right to the top of your mind. I'm not trying to discredit anything he's done. I'm not saying, well, he's never done anything. He's done great things. But I'm saying he's not a Flanagan. He's not a Wan. He's not a Landon. You know, he's not a name that people are going to go, got it.
Genre,
right away.
Yeah, he hasn't been solidified as like a genre director.
Right.
And that's so interesting. I can't believe I didn't know that. Closet Space is another really, really good short of his. But Annabelle Creation is actually, to my recollection, it's one of my favorites of the Conjuring franchise.
It's definitely the best Annabelle movie, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That one is, I think that Annabelle Creation, it used to be for me, I don't think it's still this way, but it used to be like right underneath The Conjuring 2. I think that was how I ranked it. It's been a while. Anyway, then that's great news then. I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here, just because we have been live for over 2 hours now. And like Ken was just saying, he is full time in every aspect of his life. So thank you so much for being on here with us. We were talking after last time about maybe making this sort of like a regular thing, just because it's so nice to like have somebody to bounce theories and stuff off of in real time. So let us know the type of stuff you'd like us to cover. I saw somebody in the chat earlier saying that they need us to do like a pop culture segment or something, where, because I think it's so funny. I was like, talking about Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj, and you were talking about a wrestler, and then we can just tell each other, like, people that have no idea about that world, just like share that. It's pretty funny.
Well, and like I said, like what the good thing about this is there's no pressure because I'm hanging out with a friend. You know, when Ashley's here, she feels the same way. You know, we're hanging out with somebody that means a lot to us, and we get to talk about stuff, and we just have a blast. I know that Ashley's really upset she wasn't here tonight. But we're gonna like Kylie said, we're gonna try to do this more often, once a month, just so we can, you know, have that, you know, build the relationship with you guys. We love hearing what you guys say when you guys come out. That's so important to us. Getting your guys' opinion in the chat and what you guys think, and that really matters to us. So, you know, hearing from you guys and what your opinions are, it's awesome. So thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us, and I can't wait to see you guys again next time.
Couldn't have said it better. All right, goodbye everybody. Have a good night. Goodbye.